Yo, what's the deal, baby? To all my heaties and my kikitis from Watts to the world. You know what I'm talking about? First and foremost, off top, we got to give acknowledgement to the Most High God and to anybody that's currently viewing this broadcast or that's going to be viewing this broadcast at some point in time in the future, right? I want to say I pray that the Most High God intensify, magnifies your blessings, and minimize your challenges, curses, and hardships. Now that we got that out the way, man, you know what the brand is, man. It's Mr. Exotics. That just is what it is. Shout out to Best Way to Smoke podcast. Today we're going to be getting into some content. Playtime is over. It's just over, man. You know, I kind of got a little bit off the, you know what I mean? And, you know, I had to have a few conversations and do some introspecting. I'm like, yeah, you tripping. So now we back to business. Playtime is over. I am very vocal about culture vultures who watch the culture from afar and find an access point into our culture. Even though individuals infiltrate and have an obsession with our culture, it doesn't properly represent the culture when they speak about the culture in a community, right? So today we're going to be addressing a black Southsider by the name of Neil Tuzad. I don't too much fancy this guy. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like he's fictitious. He's fraudulent. He's going through an identity crisis as well as mental health problems. And a lot of us have mental health issues, but his may be a little bit more severe than others. But you know, it's a rumor that this guy used to be a 2 P's and a B blood member. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys who didn't make the cut. So what he did, he went and aligned himself with somebody that can be considered opposition of this right here. But the motherfucker just as dark as me. But he talked like this, and yeah, you know, because that fool, like, man, okay, we're going to get into some content. But before we get into this content, EBT Archie, a.k.a. ATM Richie, you need to tap in with me, bucko. To anybody that's been watching my broadcast and following the content, you know that I am not the type of person who's quick to try to humiliate, annihilate, and utterly fuck up a person's reputation on the internet. A lot of guys I'm lenient with, a lot of guys who are, you know, that looks like us, I give them mercy. And let me tell you why I give them mercy. While in the California Youth Authority, brothers will get on a wire. The wire is just when you can talk where everybody can hear you versus talking through your vent. You can talk through the ventilation system with the person next door to you and the two individuals below you. That's what they call, you know, talking on the vent, and talking on the wires when you go to the side of the door and yell through the door, or go to the bottom of the door and yell through the cracks so where the whole unit can hear you. So brothers get into it on a wire, and they disrespect each other's mothers, fathers, deceased homies, neighborhoods, all this, right? What the Hispanics, what the Soleños will do, Mike Santana, what's the deal? What's good, Bobby? Hey, man, I'm super cool and like a deep freezer, baby. Just trying to get back to business, man. You know, the little brother ATM Richie, aka EBT Archie, said some very controversial shit when he was lending his support to the little guy PF Fo Blank. But getting back to what I was saying, Hispanics will hear us getting into it, right? Sureños specifically. They'll hear us getting into it, and what they'll do, they'll collect that information, they'll collect that data. They'll sit back silently, and you thinking it's just between two brothers, and to a brother get into it with one of these Sureños, and he start echoing something that he heard another brother say to degrade or to humiliate another brother, right? So I say, ooh, cuz they sharp. Even in the California Youth Authority, I was thinking like this. I say, if I get into it with a brother, we just don't table that shit until we able to see one another and engage in, you know what I mean, some boxing. You know what I mean? We gonna get it cracking, but I'm not about to get on here, disrespect your hood, try to humiliate you, disrespect your deceased loved ones, deceased family members, and all that. I'm not doing that, because while we're doing that, the Sureños, the Southsiders, they're collecting data. And then when you get into it with them, they try to use the same information against a brother. So they weaponize the information that we was using on one another in the California Youth Authority. And I'm seeing a lot of that today. Brothers are getting to it on the internet. Brothers to say some inflammatory, derogatory, and just utterly vile shit towards one another. And the Sureños, the Southsiders, they sit back and they watch, And then they come on here and regurgitate it and all this and all that. And I'm sick of it. Being that I am under, or being that I have that level of overstanding, you know what I mean? Because sometimes we got to stand over, you know, that's some whole other shit, right? But being that I have that overstanding, I don't like to come on here and expose some of the dudes with some of the information that I have on them, because the Hispanics will sit back and they'll use that against brothers as well. There's been a time or two that I had certain individuals on my broadcast, and I could have said this, that, and third, and produced certain things, so on and so forth, but I elected not to, because we got to understand, man, while we're bickering and fighting and going after one another, man, they're weaponizing the information that we bring to the internet. But without further ado, we're going to get into this content. This content is by dark complected Southsider, who says he's not black, he's from Panama, he's Panamanian, you feel what I'm saying? He mestizo, you feel what I'm saying? All this and all that. But we're gonna get into this content, man, and we just gonna get into the content. ATM Richie, aka EBT Archie. You need to holler at me, big dog. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we need to have a conversation. If we don't have a conversation within like the next 24 hours, 48 hours, this critical information, this reputation damaging, not stopping, not career stopping, but this reputation damaging information that I have on you will be exposed to the internet. But you need to get with me, big dog, for reals. Let's get into the content. Yeah, this dude is a Southsider who has an obsession with black situations, subject matter, politics, and all that. Young Thug bit the cheese, but what will change? He did that 18 hours ago. He was trying to talk about my views, but he did a video 18 hours ago and have no views. He did another video 1 day ago, ATM Richie next if someone don't take his mic. No views 1 day ago. You know what I mean? He tried to shit on my platform, shit on my views and all that. And I'm not the type of person that tried to view subscribers shame or viewer shame and all this and all that. But this guy is one confused individual. Let's get into the content. Don't you start tripping. Let's take it back.
Don't just take classes, take charge. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu.
That out.
Join us where fear flickers in the dark and dances with delight. Step into an unknown.
That right. Yep.
They just can't stand like
this back, and we're gonna get some volume on this thing. Wait, what the?
A sign the family must depart.
Fucking.com. Quite the entrance, old friend.
Man, that's damn, homie. That's crazy.
A resort, my darling Gomez would die.
That's damn, homie.
A vengeful villain, perfect for my little death traps. A little slice of purgatory.
Wow, that's ironic. That's crazy.
Yo, what up? It's your boys out, man. You're
into this dude's content. The black Southsider who said Latino, Chicano, Mexicano Southsiders are jealous of black Southsiders. Then he tried to retract his statement and say, "Oh, I didn't say that." Nah, bucko, you said it. I exposed you for saying it. Then I doubled back and played you saying it again. This is a guy who's not comfortable in his own skin. This is a guy who's not comfortable in the decision that he made. But he is as stubborn as a bull. And he refused to, make certain corrections and alterations. This is the type of dude, man, out of arrogance and out of, just being egotistical. And yeah, I'm Neil Tuzad. I'm the ultimate black fighter. And yeah, I'm a homie. I'm a Southsider. Yeah, it's me, 818 all day. This type of guy. Big Bogart, what's the dinner there, man? Hey, shout out to my big homie, Big Bogart, and shout out to the Tony Bogart Foundation. If you haven't checked out the Bogart Foundation website, please take the liberty to do so after this broadcast and go check out the merch. The brother is doing some amazing things, man, The brother is doing some amazing things in the community of Watts, as well as the Antelope Valley. The Antelope Valley. If you are seeking job, if you're seeking some type of advocacy, representation, re-entry services or whatnot, please get with my player partner, George Thomas, aka George Bogart. Bogart, what's the deal, big homie? Love you, cuz, and an abundance of respect and love to you and yours, man. You know what it is, big homie. But let's get back to this individual named Neil Tuzad. This guy is as stubborn as a bull, and we're just gonna get into the content. Let the content speaks for itself. Speak for itself.
Yo, what up? It's your boys out, man. You already know what time it is, but you know, always like, and this ain't even to just be talking mess, because you know, I've been trying to stay controversial free for the most part. That's why I haven't really been.
What the imbecile means is not controversial free, controversy free. He's been trying to stay controversy free. He's been trying to stay free of controversy. This is one of the guys who accuse blacks of accepting grape assist and actual offense violators. Put an S in front of it. This guy say that we don't really have any type of honor about ourselves, and that an individual can go out there and do the most egregious act, especially actually, put an S in front of it, and we would accept them into our ranks and our organizations and let them just exist. I have never been around that. I have never known that to be true, especially in the California Department of Corrections. But we're going to get into this brother content. But as I say, that's why brothers have to be more mindful of what they introduce to the internet, because you have those who are culture vultures and spectators of the culture in the community looking to weaponize your words to come on here and make a broad generalization of all black men, Crips, Bloods, GDs, Vice Lords, etc. Let's get into the content.
No videos, and they got a gang of content for me to talk about. Like I said, I don't do that.
All black content. Mind you, this is the individual who had choice words to say about Marvelous Inc. And he's a big bad guy. This guy here, this guy right here, this degenerate here. He's a big bad guy. He likes to fight. He likes to try to put the punch on people. You dig what I'm saying, man? But this big bad guy who came down here and said some choice things about Marvelous Inc. has yet to address Marvelous Inc. in person. Both of you guys are under the SUE. Both of you guys are affiliated with Southside of Soranios and all that. And if you feel like whatever his transgressions were, you could have met up with him and got cracking. Y'all could have had a good old fisticuff like Pugilist. But you elected to come to the internet to address certain things instead of going to go get at him. Go get at him, big dog. Go get at him. Big tough guy, big strong, confused tough guy. Let's get into the content.
This is such and such business. No, it's not, because people continuously speak on the car like as if it's just something that they just got the right. So I'm just go ahead and speak on things that I feel like
speak on what you're going to speak on, because you're a man. Don't be influenced or swayed because of this or that or that or that or that or that and this. Seems like what you're doing is making excuses. Oh, people just be speaking on the car. And what you, bro, do you know how much respect we give to your car? And how little respect your car give to us? So we're very meticulous on how we address, your people. But your people continuously comes on here and they're meddlesome. Let me put my nose in black business and black affairs because it's the most relevant on the internet. No one's coming to the internet searching for Surani or Southsider rappers, entertainers, movies. It's all about that hip-hop genre. The biggest culture in the United States of America is what? Hip-hop, black culture. Even though hip-hop is not our culture, hip-hop is a community in a way of living that came from up out of the culture. But our actual culture, which is American history, every war that has been fought by Americans have been fought utilizing blacks to be the individuals that went and did the most damage to the opposing forces. So our culture is American culture. We are the key contributors to American culture. Architect, science, technology. We are innovators, even though our patterns and our ideas were stolen from us. You dig what I'm saying? But getting back to what I was saying, man, these spectators, these infiltrators of our culture feel like they have so much to say about us because their culture can't move forward unless our culture moves it. Why do you think they replicate, they emulate, they imitate everything that it is that we do? Because we drive the culture forward. When you talk about fashion and you're talking about this and you're talking about that and that and that and this and that, it's us. We are the vehicle that moves it forward. That's why everybody want to be us. That's why they come on here and talk about our affairs. That's why they come over here and highlight what it is that we're doing, because nobody cares what you're doing. Nobody cares about that. Nobody's coming to the internet and saying, oh, let me type in this, that, and third to see what these specific Hispanics are doing. No one's doing that. Even, you know what? I'm going to do a review. It's not really a review. I'm going to do a reaction. We're going to start with Boulevard Nights, which is a movie that highlight what's going. Man, I know I'm overlooked that because that may have been a typo, but love you, cuz on Crip. But we're going to talk about Boulevard Nights and how it held in comparison to Colors. Then we're going to go into Blood In, Blood Out, and Boys in the Hood, and we're going to see who's more in the public eye, who is more sought after in the public eye, who has a bigger market, who has more individuals looking and searching and you know, just looking to learn more about our walks of life. But let's get back into the content, man. This is the guy, Neil Tuzad.
I got the right to talk about because it's in social media for one, and it's just,
dude, if you're going to talk about it, just fucking talk about it. You don't need any excuses. You don't this, that, and third. You're going to talk about it because it's more relevant and it's more trending and it's more of a hot topic than what you do in the individuals that you associate yourself with. If you want to get relevance, talk about what's going on in Los Angeles County that pertains to the Crips, the Bloods, and the Black artists, and hey, you can go viral overnight. He's notorious for doing it. Adam 22 is notorious for doing it. And as well as Damn Homie, they're all notorious for doing it. Utilize and capitalize off of the traction and off of the traffic of LA County gang members, Crips and Bloods, Black men, what they're doing, how they're rapping, their fashion, how they're beefing with one another. They love to highlight how we beef. If they're not highlighting how we beef, they're giving they are instigating for us to beef so that they can ultimately come back and highlight how we beef. But let's get back into the content. Culture Vultures.
there's no shot at the dude because I actually picked up on him doing like a skit about another dude that's in the industry, but I could never really tell if this dude was a Blood or a Crip, which it didn't matter. I just found him funny, and plus he did like some rap and it sound clean. So I was like, okay, let me follow this dude, which I do follow. I think I follow him on Instagram.
It's a Bay Area word. I talk about the influence that the Bay, shout out to the Bay. And I don't do the separation. You know what I mean? I'm seeing a lot of brothers from Oakland say, man, I ain't from the Bay, I'm from Oakland. Which is respectable, respectful. But when a person say, oh man, that shit is clean, or that shit is hella this, or that shit is hella clean, and this, that, and third, that's verbiage that comes out of the Bay Area. They steal everything that we do. So it's not just the cats from LA that they steal their lingo from. It's also the brothers up there in the Bay. Frisco, let's go. Let's get into this content, man. Shout out to Deep East, Oakland, and all that, man. Shout out to Rich. Shout out to the Rich, man. Shout out to Vallejo, man. Shout out to all my player partners up there in the Bay, man. Shout out to the player partners in San Jose, East Palo Alto, all that, man. Shout out to the Bay, man. Shout out to our cousins up north, man, on the reels.
Instagram.
Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
One more, everybody.
You get snowed up.
I think that I'll be following him anymore, and that's just due to preference and certain things that I feel.
That nigga don't give a fuck if you unsubscribe and unfollow him. The only person that's going to potentially lose is you, because you steal a lot of shit that you do and that you say. You get a lot of your information from watching blacks. He don't give a fuck if you watch or not. What the fuck? Let's get into the content.
So, it's nothing really to play with. So I just refrain from even delving too deep into why I'm gonna remove myself from his list. But
this motherfucker must have been sitting at home, just got off of work, or doing some bozo shit, like making funny noises and faces in the mirror, all this type of shit. And he's like, you know what? I got to make some content, and all this old stupid shit that he do when he's in a bathroom by himself and all this, like, right? He say, what can I talk about? And he dug up some old shit. That shit is ancient as a motherfucker now. Oh, let me talk about ATM, EBT Archie, ATM Richie. Let me talk about him. That shit is old. We been talked about that, addressed that, held him accountable, and certain dudes, feel certain type of ways and all that. Man, you on a gravy train late, baby. Man, come with some where's the originality, big dog? Damn, stop stealing our shit. In my Dave Chappelle voice. It should be crazy.
It doesn't affect him, you know what I mean? It's just a preference. But the whole thing is this dude, ATM Richie. I think that's his name, ATM Richie. I've been.
See, I hate when motherfuckers do that. Oh, I won't be going to search for people content. Oh yeah, what's his name? Man, you know what the fuck his name is. You say that you was up on his content X amount of time ago. So how the fuck now today? Oh, what's his name? You know his name. You follow him. Oh, I'm about to go unfollow him. You have to know his name in order to search him up in the search engine to unfollow him. Go stop playing these old stupid ass games, man. What's wrong with you, big guy? Tough guy? Muscle bound guy? Oh, I'm an enforcer. I'm this, I'm that. I like to fight other blacks and I throw them off the tier and I do this. Yeah, man, for sure. Man, your stupid ass up out of here. And you facing discriminatory practices against you for being dark complected. Oh, so what? I know what I signed up for. It doesn't matter that I can never, get a certain level of reputation and clearance. Man, your doofus looking ass up out of here. Radio looking ass nigga, cuz.
I'm watching this dude for a second. Like I said, I follow him, but then I seen what he said on P4K and the fact that, it was more threats towards the alleged victim. We'll just say alleged because we don't want to get no copyright.
Okay. If you feel some way about it, go and handle your business. You feel some way about it, go and handle your business. Go handle your business. Shut the fuck up. Get off the internet. You talking about black politics and I see looking like radio looking ass nigga. If you feel some type of way to where you feel like it was significant enough for you to come on the internet and address it, go do something about it. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do? What you say that you be in an AV and it's nothing for you to go to the AV to handle your candle and build your channel and all this and all that. Get off the fucking internet and go do something about it. And his rebuttal, if he watched this video, but I know he will watch this video, he gonna say, oh, that's a black issue. You fools need to do something about it. So stupid ass up. If it's that significant for you, bucko, tough guy, buff guy, I like to fight blacks. Oh, this old weird ass shit. Go do something about it. Go handle your candle. Go make him pay for being in concert or being in a state of advocacy for an individual who did some very, very, very egregious shit. Go handle it. Right. They don't talk about their own politics. I mean, they don't. But this individual, he said something about Marvelous Inc., but ain't do shit. Ain't did a motherfucking thing to Marvelous Inc. Marvelous Inc. be cooling how you be cooling, man. Do your thing, Marvelous Inc. A lot of motherfuckers is jealous of you, man. You know why they jealous of you? Because you give individuals a certain level of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that contradicts their orthodox teachings. That orthodox teaching that they think that they have, or this is orthodox. This ain't that. And he's telling you that a lot of you dudes were actually melanated, carbonated. You were dark skinned before the invaders came. A lot of you guys are from the lost tribe of Israel. Oh no, how he's going to connect us with some mayates, dog? They don't like that. He's dispelling the myths that allow certain peoples to walk around with this false superiority complex. We're better than blacks. We may not be as good as those whites, but that's what our aspirations are. But let's get back into the content. Tuzad, go handle your candle, big dog.
Right? No, we don't want to get no strikes on our channel for something that what people continue to act as if it's fabricated. There's no real evidence behind it. The feds are just making us something, which I don't care either way.
If you don't care, brother, if you don't care, then why are you addressing it? If you don't care, motherfucker. If you don't care, then why are you addressing it? Why are you on here talking about something that was discussed, addressed, and talked about a week ago? If you don't care, then why are you addressing it, big dog? Think about the shit that I don't care about. But let's get back into this brother's content.
At the end of the day, everybody will suffer their own consequence because karma will bite everybody. But we're not on P4K. That's between his hood and him. Now, this other dude, ATM Richie, like I watched this whole interview on No Jumper. And like I said, we ain't got no real dogs in the fight. But when you come.
So why the fuck are you talking? That ATM Richie, aka EBT Archie interview, I couldn't watch it, especially when certain things were and all this bullshit. I couldn't watch it. I'm just saying, I just cannot watch it. I had to get up out of there. I gotta go. You know what I mean? But he sat there and watched it because he's doing homework. He's fascinated with the culture. He's a culture vulture. He's fascinated with it. Even though he comes on here and he gives a certain presentation because who he is aligned and associated with, this dude is a fucking culture vulture, big dog. On the reals, I'm telling y'all what's real. But let's get back into the content.
Comes to sex crimes and things of that nature, yeah, we're always paying attention to the dudes that we would never be around. And that's including anybody that's been doing it and solid just with the program. It had nothing to do with prison, just being solid and being a decent human being. Anything that has to do with minors is a thing that's looked at really bad. Like I told you, what could happen to people just going there for things such as child endangerment, things like that. Like it's anything with children is seen bad. And that's a universal feeling, like for all the cars that's in jail or in the feds or whatever. It's universal feeling.
But wait. First of all, shut the fuck up, nigga. You never been to the feds, so speak from your experience. Hold on. Somebody calling me. I think it's paper on the line. Hold on. Let me mute this goddamn mic. Still, man, it is your player partner, and I am back. Money making yay. Hey, but let's get back into the content, man.
You might slip by a couple of food, but there's gonna be the ones that's like, nah, they ain't gonna want you around them. Now, I ain't trying to make this video too long, which it probably will be, but the whole thing is I'm watching this dude do the interview, and the fact that he's just blatantly throwing out, the self-incriminating and self-snitching is one thing. People do it all the time in rap. I've said things in my rap that if they were to dig deep,
Whoa, imbecile. This guy's a fucking degenerate and a motherfucking imbecile, cuz. What the fuck did this nigga just say? What the fuck did this nigga just admit to? You talking about this nigga, you say, oh, I say things in my raps that. Hold on, let's run that shit back, man. Or is this just rap cap? This may just be rap cap.
That's the thing about rap. It's a mixture of fabrication. Where to dig deep, you know. That's the thing about things in my rap, that if they were to dig deep, you know, do it all the time in rap. I've said things in my rap that if they were to dig deep, you know. That's the thing about rap. It's a mixture of fabrication and truth, but it's hard to know. Do it all the time in rap. I've said things in my rap.
What is the word that I am seeking? What is the word that I am seeking that eludes me at the current moment? I think it's an ignoramus. Ignoramus. I think that's the correct pronunciation of that word. Ignoramus. Hey man, listen, boys and girls, lady and man, Hades and Kikitis. My name is Bobby A. Jones. I am an activist. I am an author. I am a film producer, and I do not hurt people in the streets. Never have, never will I. Even if I get on the internet and I rap about it, even if I tell you a story, it's just a story. It is not a reflection or a depiction of anything that I have did in the present or in the past. A lot of these guys are supposed to be so intelligent and smart, and yeah, even if they dig deep into my raps, they'll find out that I did this to that person and I did that to that person. And yeah, remember that black guy that terrible stuff had happened to at the park? Yeah, dude, that was me. But I said that he was a light-skinned black, but he was a dark-skinned black. But I totally did that. Man, shut your stupid ass up. Let's get back into the content.
Rap that if they were to dig deep, you know. That's the thing about rap. It's a mixture of fabrication and truth, but it's hard to know what's the truth and what's fabricated. Everything in rap is.
Believe you me, the feds is very, very aware of what is realistic and what is fabrication. The feds, they got people for this, and they sit back and they study the likes of you and all these other fucking degenerates that comes on the internet and say this inflammatory, crazy ass shit. They know what's what. They know what ain't, what it ain't, what it ain't. You feel what I'm saying? They know.
Somewhat embellished, and it may just be on the matter of how from which that they got removed from the planet. They could have been. You could have said you shot him 40 times, but he died with 2 shots. Like, it's just whatever. It just depends on if you one of these dudes. That's the thing about rap. It's a mixture of fabrication, on which it probably will be. But the whole thing is, I'm watching this dude do the interview, and the self-incriminating and self-snitching is one thing. People do it all the time in rap.
Cuz says this and then goes on to self-incriminate himself and say, hey, I'm self-incriminating myself, but when I self-incriminate myself, I change the intricate details. Instead of saying that I shot him 2 times, I'm going to over-exaggerate and say I shot the motherfucker 40 times. This is crazy. Wink from the Woods says, salute to you, Bobby Ye. Refreshing to be able to tap in good content and listen to a brother that articulate himself so well. Keep it up, champion. Hey, shout out to all my folks out there, man, in your section, man. I appreciate you tapping in, you know what I mean? And then, you know, rocking with the platform, you know what I mean? As it is in its restructuring and its development stages, you know, still in its infancy to a degree, you feel what I'm saying? Salute to Bobby Ye. Refreshing. Oh, he said it twice. I appreciate it. Weak ass bars get you back in the holding cell. That is crazy. Let's get back into the content.
I've said things in my rap that if they were to dig deep, you know. That's the thing about rap. It's a mixture of fabrication and truth, but it's hard to know what's the truth and what's fabricated. Everything in rap is somewhat embellished, and it may just be on the matter of how from which that they got removed from the planet. They could have been. You could have said you shot him 40 times, but he died with 2 shots. Like, it's just whatever. It just depends on if you one of these dudes that like to put your business out. But when you're dealing with music, of course you're going to embellish certain things, because that's the way the music really moves, and you never really want to give direct or exact detail to anything, because that's how you end up in prison for the rest of your life. Now, when I heard this dude you know, talk about that he got multiple hats, and the fact that he's unalived, you know, 304s and this and that, and what happens to 304s if they don't fall in line, and just like I said, dude, he said, like, I noticed on one part he said that he was on meth, or he had did meth in the past just to fit in, you know what I mean? And he wasn't doing it to control his emotions or to, deal with certain things that had taken place in his life. It wasn't a coping mechanism. He just wanted to be a part of the crowd. So he chose to be a meth head, which you're entitled to do whatever drug you want as a human being. And as somebody that's been in the streets, you do whatever you want. And can't nobody really say nothing about you unless it's, I mean, they can say what they want, but you don't have to pay attention. Now, being a meth head and dudes that like drugs, that's them. Like, if you want to pop pills, that's your life. As long as you're not a minor, and you're of my ilk, you know what I mean? As far as like, my children, then I don't really care. Like, that's fentanyl. I hate fentanyl. I don't like people that sell fentanyl. They just can't stand because they know what it does. But
what are you going to do about it? Are you going to go snatch up those fentanyl peddlers and say, hey, you fentanyl peddler, stop peddling fentanyl in my community. Get out of here. Big buff strong guy. Get the fuck up out of here, man. Nobody gives a fuck about what you like or don't like.
To each their own. Now, the whole reason I chose to speak on this dude, because I had said once before a dude was giving a dude that had sex trafficking on children, allegedly, or on minors, allegedly, a pass and was basically insinuating something could happen to those if they chose to speak. And I was just like, not even from we have our morals and we have the side of us that's gonna be like, yeah, this dude is a trash bag for saying that, but it's more on the side of just, why would you be one of these dudes that's so idiotic that you would come on social media and outright threaten somebody that is going to possibly get. I know for a fact, when it comes to threatening a witness and fabrication of witness, I know exactly what it can bring if they're able to prove it. And that's just if they're able to prove it. That's not, somebody saying it out their mouth exactly what they'll do, or if you don't.
Well, this is what I would inform you all of. When it pertains to the feds and their federal witnesses, that can be considered conspiracy. That can be considered conspiracy. You don't need to take any actions towards executing it. If you utter it, or they can prove you had a thought of it, conspiracy, you know what I mean? But let's get back into the content.
We need a training manual for the new hire, ASAP.
Hey, I'm going to be...
Basically, if you don't check yourself, you already know it's going to happen. Can you deal with it? And then that's one thing to include yourself. That's one thing to put yourself into the situation, but to say, like, the homies, like, you actually including anybody that might be associated with you, that the feds or the police might even consider your homies, which most likely when they're trying to get these cases, they usually put your hood involved. That's why when somebody gets smoked, your hood is like usually, and they have an idea of you might have something to do with it, they usually raid your whole hood out of nowhere. See, and it's things of that nature that homies ward against a lot of times, and they tell you like, hey dude, you're bringing heat to the neighborhood. Now it's one thing you putting in work, but it's another thing to put in work and then go talk about it knowing everybody's gonna be paying attention, and going on a platform such as No Jumper, which I don't even fault No Jumper no more. Dude is at a crossroad in his business to where it's like, look, if you want to come on here and talk, and I know this, even he may have goaded him into other things slightly, but he gave him multiple chances to not self-incriminate himself. He even said like, hey, this and this and that, but dude chose to continue to talk about the situation. Now, self-incrimination is one thing. It comes with the territory if you're one of those dudes that just like to run your mouth 24/7. And just from the way he was excited to get on there and talk about absolutely everything, that just kind of told me exactly what type of cat he was. I'm looking for the smoke, and anybody that wants to do this, like, okay, there's so many tough guys out here. And
you are one of those self-proclaimed tough guys.
to the thing, like if you're such a tough guy, or these dudes are such tough guys, then why you gotta prostitute females? Like, why you need that type of control? And there's one thing, there's dudes that, you know, they do this because they're trying to get that money, and it's not so much about control. But then when you hear a dude talk about it, his whole get down with,
see, this guy be talking, and sometimes I think he talks just to hear himself talk. Because when you go across the border, the big dogs, the real big dogs, they engage in certain illicit affairs as well. You're not going to go across the border and ask these questions, these audacious and bold questions to a member of a specific organization, criminal enterprise across the border. You're not going to say, oh, why do y'all engage in this and do this? Oh, that's for cowards. You're not going to go over there and tell them that. So shut the fuck up. Knock it off. There is certain non-black hoods that engage in certain illicit affairs as well. Why don't you clean your own backyard, bucko? Why don't you go over there on, what is it? Like Western and whatever it is. That video that's over there, like in Hollywood, that engage in certain activities and all that. Why don't you go down there? Identify who needs to be identified, and then address them and say, hey, why are y'all doing this? Because doing this, that, and third, it makes you guys this, that, and third. You know what I mean? Like, motherfuckers come on the internet, they just be bumping their gums and just talking and all that.
With females and being able to break them for their thing, and constantly calling himself a pimp, which is crazy to say that you're a pimp on camera, and it ain't, and not using it in the past tense, but using this, oh, I still doing it, like that right there, only gonna throw them. Just because you don't have them on your bumper right away, don't mean they're not paying attention. As soon as you went on a platform, and it's been said, dude, the feds and everything watch No Jumper, because a lot of stupid dudes get up there and talk about everything. Dudes they don't have no reserve on what they talk about. Everything is to either glorify somebody getting smoked, or who they've had smoked, or who they into it with, and what the street politics are. Yeah, we do this because of this, and we do this because of this, and this is the day, our hood day is this, and like all types of stupid stuff like that, when they don't even need to know that. Nobody should even know anything about your neighborhood outside the fact that you bang it, and this is.
Shut your stupid ass up. If your hood is 92nd Street, everybody knows that your fucking hood day is September the 2nd. If your hood is 95th Street, everybody knows your fucking hood is September the 5th. If your hood is 114th Street, 115th Street, everybody knows that your hood day is this or that. Like, so that bullshit you be talking, when you be trying to talk that shit that you be talking, man, sometimes you got to self-correct, check yourself, and shut the fuck up. Damn.
What it's called, and this is where you fools at. All the ins and outs on where you lay your head, or where you had the bodies hid, or where you stash your guns, and which homie then pass you the blade. Like, all that stuff is just stupidity, dude. And these dudes constantly amaze me. And the whole thing I find funny is these are the same dudes that get on here and spew out their stupid mouth that the homies is allowed to tell them people. And the only dudes I see on here telling on their homies, telling on themselves. Like, you see what happened with the dude from 6-0. You see what happened to Brick. You see what happened to.
Damn, you're a great student. You are a great student of our culture. You study everyone. It's nothing get past this guy. Get this guy A. Somebody get this guy A. This guy is a great fucking student of our communities and our culture. Let's get back into it.
To the other dude, like, it's just so much. It's so much pointing fingers and backstabbing in that little thing that it's just crazy, dude. And this is not even getting into politics, because to be honest, I don't care if it, I don't wish jail on nobody, but if they rot in jail for the rest of their life, that's just them. Like, that they're not from my hood, I'm not from their hood, and that's just a life they chose. Just like when I was fighting my case, nobody cared except like fools that I really was solid with, and moms, going to court. And like my kids, like, because it's like, dude, you ain't never getting out. Like, and I had to face that and come to terms with that. And I wasn't expecting my homeboys to be, constantly on me, like, yeah, you know, because life goes on after a while. It's just what it is, you know. And for the most part, there was some homies that looked out, and some were too young to even do anything. These dudes weren't even out of, you know what I mean? They're not even hitting junior high yet. So I say all this to say this, dude. Somebody should sit this dude down. Like, obviously, somebody, you know, they ain't got no love for him. You know, you hear rumors of fools getting ran out of certain places. I'm not gonna get into that because, like I said, it's not my hood, not my politics. But the
God damn. Somebody get this fucking guy A+ for being an excellent student of our culture, of our communities, and what's relevant in the African American algorithm of these YouTube streets. Wow. This guy watches us more than he watches his own people. Hooray. You're a student. Yeah, you're heavily influenced. Yeah, hooray to this guy.
simple fact that dude can go in here and spew the nonsense that he spews and nobody's in his ear, like, look, dude, you need to like, I'm telling you, like, there's certain things like I've said on social media that were grimy.
Don't just take classes, take charge. Start your comeback today at PurdueGlobal.edu.
You worked hard to cross that finish line. Now it's time to celebrate those memories. At Michael's, we help you preserve.
And I've had my homies, you know, that I was solid, be like, hey, fool, woo, like, be careful, you know what I mean? So, you know, I can take it in stride and be like, whatever, and be like, I don't have to listen to you because I don't. Like, I am me, and I'm willing to go at it.
You're a fucking lie. You are a fucking lie. Your ass do have to adhere to orders. Don't come on here and pretend that you don't have to adhere to orders or instructions that's being given to you. You're not that type of guy. If those big dogs say, hey, it's his number, we're calling, this is what it is, you have to listen. If those big guys, you know what I'm talking about, say, hey, we don't like how you representing the raza, tell them to Truvo. No more YouTube shit. Nigga, your stupid ass will be off YouTube within an hour after that. So don't make it seem like, oh, I don't have to listen. Like, no. You are a black and a predominantly Hispanic organization. You are an outsider. You are a welcomed outsider, a partially embraced outsider, and your motherfucking ass do have to listen and adhere to the information and instructions and commands and demands that they give you. So, man, knock that fake shit off, man.
With whoever or on my stance on life, but as somebody that's smart and calculative, of course I'm gonna listen, especially if it's constructive criticism. Now, if it's something that's gonna, you know, jeopardize life over stupidity when I can go another route and still accomplish the same goal, yeah, I'm gonna listen. I guess it's just is being smart. But this dude, ATM Richie, dude, like I feel sorry for him for in a certain sense, because he reminds me of them dudes that never did nothing in their life and they're still begging for attention. You know, the ones that brag about absolutely everything and never did anything. Like, there's no proof, there's no trail of paperwork as far as like going to juvenile hall multiple times. Like, you go to jail, but it's like for robberies and all these other little insignificant things in the scheme of things. But
this just in, Mayor Karen Bass to endorse. Excuse me, let me try that again. This just in, Mayor Karen Bass to endorse Antonio Villaraigosa for California governor. Let's get back into the content.
But I don't know. All I'm gonna say is whoever, sorry, allergies, but whoever is his homeboy that have any real love for him with his family members, you need to sit dude down and actually talk to him, because he gonna end up in, he already said he got 2 strikes, so he gonna end up in prison for the rest of his life because he can't keep his mouth shut. It was one
big dog. This all I'm gonna say, right? In regards to these allergies, right? This what I'm gonna tell you. In regards to the allergies, next time you go and get it, make sure that they put less cut on it. Because if you allow a certain level of cut, then it'll fuck you up. Hold on, I got a phone call coming through. It's money on the line. It's money on my mind. Hey, I got to get up off this thing, man. You feel me? Hey, SB the producer, what is the dinner nail, man? Peace and blessings to yours, man, on the reels. Reborn Devo, what's the deal, man? Hey, shout out to everybody that's tapping in for the tap in, man, on the reels. Hey, listen, I gotta go handle some business. So I gotta get up off of here, man. Y'all step and be blessed. This degenerate, this fucking imbecile, man, this dude is crazy. But us as black men, black women, we have to be more mindful of the information that we present on the internet, that we present to the internet. We have to be more mindful of the subject matter that we create and introduce to the internet. We have to be more mindful of the things that we say on the internet, because there are cultural vultures and spectators who are spectating, and they want to weaponize any and everything that we say. It has to be a certain level of accountability that we hold one another to. You feel what I'm saying? Whatever's going on with ATM Richie, aka EBT Richie, if you know, you know. I don't know. But if you know, you know. You understand what I'm saying? But karmic law, any energy that you put out there into the universe, it would be magnified and shot right back to you. Y'all step and be blessed, man. God bless y'all. I love y'all. Too black, too strong. We all we need. We all we got. Let's live in peace before we be forced to rest in it. And with that, I'm gone.